How we doing there, boys and girls? Manthieus here and welcome back to another video. So I've been a little bit absent in the last few days, both from YouTube and from streaming, because I had a douse of the ick. I'm slowly getting better though. I had tonsillitis, for those that care. Not something that I remember being too pleasurable, and it definitely wasn't. I'm on the tail end of it now. My voice is still a bit croaky, so please bear with me. But today, it's patch day. 9.2.5 has launched. It's live everywhere now, to my knowledge at least. Took a little bit longer for them to launch over in the NA, but thank you for beta testing for us NA realm. I wanted to talk for just a few minutes today about some of the updates and some of the changes that are relevant to us, the ones of us out there that like playing with the economy, playing with the crafting professions, making some gold in the game. What can we be doing? What should we know about to get ourselves up and running? In the last video I did a few days ago, we took a little bit of a look at the legendaries. They've updated the legendary system, the legendary crafting system, to be a little bit more user-friendly. Costs a lot less to get it leveled up nowadays. You only need to craft 3 ranks instead of 15. So 3 of each rank, I should say, instead of 15. And I've updated the tools that I offer people to make this even easier. My Shadowlands cheat sheet that many of you will probably know of, many of you might have even used. I have updated this now fully for 9.2.5 to basically, reiterate how much you need to craft. The more important thing is things like the grand total cost to level. Jewel crafting is now remarkably cheap to level. You can max out jewel crafting for like 150k nowadays, assuming you can get some relatively cheap lacestrite ore, which shouldn't be too difficult. The other legendaries, it's the same for these as well. You only need to craft 3 of each. It gives you a grand total of what it's going to cost things. You guys have probably seen the cheat sheet. If you haven't, I'll leave a link to my Discord. The most up-to-date version of the cheat sheet is always available pinned in my Discord. So at any point, hop over, grab the latest copy of it. Go file, make a copy. Where is it? File, make a copy if you want to edit any of the values in the sheet. But for the most part, the only thing you need to do is go to the global material list, update your server's prices here. I let people do this manually. It has been quite a high request to sort of link this to some API and make it all fancy schmancy. Maybe for 10.0. At this point in the expansion, it's not really worth it. Put in your prices, whether it be the prices that you have paid or whether it be the prices on your auction house currently. Whatever you choose, you understand the value of these items. So put them in, put the prices in. You don't have to fill all of it out. Like I said, it comes pre-populated like this. You may need to change a few of the vital ones, but for the most part it will do its thing, and then it will tell you how much it's going to cost to level up your legendaries. Now, whether you choose to play with legendaries or not is kind of up to you. Sure, it's much cheaper to level them up nowadays, but that doesn't make a blind bit of difference if there's no profit in them at the top end anyway. So check the prices of the rank 7s. Truth be told, 9.2.5 is probably not going to bring a huge amount of people back to the game. There's not going to be huge of people flooding back to the game, but those that are still playing it are quite likely to be continuously playing alts, chipping away at achievements, playing some new classes. All of these things are indicative of gearing up new characters, and along with that, there's the legendaries are a big part of the gearing process nowadays. So I would not be surprised to still see relatively steady, relatively consistent sales, albeit maybe not as lucrative as they once were, but still one of the most broken gold making systems I think we've ever seen. So the cheat sheet is there for you. Utilize it if you wish. If you don't need it, you don't need it. Whatever. Link is in description for that one. Another thing I wanted to point out that sort of snuck up a little bit, and I'd completely forgotten about, to be honest, was that they've added some new weapons, some new Zereth Mortis weapons in 9.2.5. Any of these Cypher equipments, they've added a whole bunch of new stuff. Now, of course, these scale from 233 item level all the way up to 252. So there's a good chance any of your characters who are running around Zereth Mortis might find a new weapon. And if it's an ult that you don't raid on, and if it's an ult that you don't necessarily do like high-end game content on, your Zereth Mortis gear may be the gear that you rock around in. My character, for example, I don't do too much of the end game. I'm pretty much kitted in mostly my Zereth Mortis gear. The one thing that's always been lacking, though, is the weapon. The Zereth Mortis weapon's capped out at 246. There's a good chance that there'll be a few people upgrading them. Now, what does this matter from a goal making perspective? Well, it doesn't matter huge amounts, other than there are enchants. People might want to put a scope on their bow. They might want to put a weapon enchant on this new weapon. You may see a small amount of an increase in sales in those sorts of markets. Now, of course, they're only smaller markets. The enchanting market is nothing like it once was, but be aware that there may be a little bit more demand for these items. Maybe restock a little bit more than you would do normally, or maybe focus on trying to sell a few more of these. There's the possibility there as well. Something else, jumping back, I've got my notes to the side here. Look, there's some notes. One thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, the Shadowgast Wasteguard. I'm on the wrong character at the moment. Blizzard have broken the game. If you happen to be a blacksmith and you happen to have the Shadowgast Wasteguard, the legendary belt, leveled up, ranked up, some people have logged on today to find that they cannot craft anything other than a rank 1. This is going to halt until Blizzard fix this. This will 100% halt the supply of new high rank Shadowgast Wasteguards. Now, the Wasteguard was a reasonable seller. I'm not going to say it was the best. The belt slot was not necessarily the best because the Unity belt did take its place in many cases. But for anybody that wanted to recraft on the belt slot, the Shadowgast belt was not the worst item. You did see consistent sales with it. Now, until Blizzard fix it to allow crafters to make higher ranks of them, the supply of rank 7s is, well, what's there is there. You may see some funny shenanigans going on this. There have even been some people that have reported buying out a bunch of them to relist them. Goblins will do goblin things. I just thought I should let you know about it. And the last thing for today, something that snuck up on us a little bit, with this cross-faction business that's happening in 9.2.5. One of the bonuses of this is for us heavily Alliance players. Now, previously, Alliance don't naturally have access to goblins. Having an access to a goblin, well, why do you need access to a goblin? This thing, best deals anywhere, is a goblin racial. The best deals anywhere goblin racial always receive the best possible gold discount regardless of faction. What does this mean? It means that all heavily Alliance players should now make themselves a Horde goblin, because we can now send mail from our Horde characters to our Alliance characters. We couldn't do this previously. It always meant that Alliance were at a significant disadvantage in many cases, that they were paying considerably more for the vendor items. The vendor item I'm really thinking about here is the Arboreal Shards. Arboreal Shards were 125 gold apiece until you built your reputation up for all Alliance players. Most Hordes out there, you just had a goblin buy them because they got them at 100 gold by default. This changes the way that Alliance gold makers are going to have to think going forward. Make sure you make a few, maybe one, maybe two, maybe a handful of goblin alts who can just sit next to a vendor, buy the materials off the vendor at the cheapest price possible, and then mail them over to your Alliance characters. That is now a thing that we can do. It's something that sort of slipped by with this whole cross-realm business nowadays, but it is a thing, and I thought I should bring it to your guys' attentions. Especially for, like I said, those of you out there that play Alliance primarily. Weirdly, goal making is a very Alliance-heavy sport. Maybe it's because a lot of people that enjoy goal making and crafting and playing the economy are people that have played for a long time, and back in the day the Alliance was the dominant race. Not so much anymore, but get your goblins crafted, use your goblins to buy your vendor mats, send those vendor materials over to your Alliance characters, and you will be good to go. And the last thing for today, I have set up a little guild and community. We now have a guild and community, Manthieus' Coffee Club, mainly for the benefit of those on the stream who enjoy watching over on twitch.tv/Manthieus on the stream. I've put a little community together. The communities I feel might actually be somewhat worthwhile, you know, dipping your toe in the water with nowadays, simply because you can now have cross-faction, cross-server communities. I'll leave a link in the description for this down below if you want to jump into the Manthieus Coffee Club community. Feel free. I'm not going to lie, there's not any real significant benefits or perks to doing it at the moment, other than if you're part of the community as and when something does arise, you'll be, you know, first in the queue to join in with the fun and activities. If I'm brutally honest, it'll probably end up being a little bit of a filter through to the Discord. I feel that the community can be maintained and works a lot better. We can get discussion on the go a little bit better in the Discord, but the in-game community is there. I'll leave a link in the description for that as well. But I've been talking for far too long already today, so I'm going to finish this one up here. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Good luck in 9.2.5. We're going to get ready to play some Diablo Immortal for the next couple of days, so come say hi over on the stream. We'll be playing that a little bit in the next few days, assuming my voice holds out, so fingers crossed. But anyway, thanks once again, boys and girls. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll catch you all next time. Peace.